Well, hey everybody, it's Destry. Thanks for coming to my garden today. I'm going to make a video today about the top 10 things I have learned after being a YouTuber for over 2 years. I started total grassroots, deciding to make YouTube videos. I have been putting them out there into the world for 2 years. I'm going to share with you what I've learned. I'm going to share with you some tips, some reminders, and just some inspiration hopefully in this video, so that if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or maybe you already have a YouTube channel, these tips might help someone that's out there watching. So be sure to stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to share my 10th tip, which is the best one. Okay, it is the one that you have to have and have to remember. So be sure to stick around to the end of the video for that tip. So first I'm going to share with you a little bit about my story of why I started my YouTube channel, and then I'm going to get into the tips that I have for you. So feel free to forward to the sections of the video that you need today, but I would encourage you to watch it in its entirety. It might be a little bit longer than some of my actual content videos where I go out into my garden and my yard and I plant flowers and I plant trees and I do gardening and yardening. Those videos are quite a bit shorter. This one might end up being longer, but that's okay with me if it's okay with you. So hi, I'm Destry. I garden here in the Pacific Northwest in the Willamette Valley, and I'm in Zone 8B. I make content videos about hanging out in my Oregon yard. I do plantings of vegetables, fruits, flowers, cut flowers. I have a roadside flower stand where I sell my cut flower bouquets, and I share a bit about that. I share videos about crafting, decorating, and basically just hanging out and, having a homestead, little homestead here in Oregon. I've been making videos for 2 years now, and I have learned a lot in the process and along the way. And so I thought I would share today a little bit about my story and a little bit about that learning that I've experienced, so that I can give you some tips so you don't make the same mistakes I have. I have always loved plants and gardening. My first interactions with planting seeds was, I remember in high school, I started an herb garden. I've always had an interest in that sort of thing. So that just continued on, usually through houseplants, into my 20s and 30s. And then I got kind of my first home where I could really make it my own. And I remember I had a dear friend, Linda, if you're watching, who came over and said, we have got to whip this yard into shape. And that's the first time I really started doing more landscaping, right? More planting big trees and plants and things like that. So that is my first kind of experiences with plants. And then as my knowledge grew of plants, my life also progressed. I had a family and was married and, did all of that, those sorts of things. But I always loved gardening. And so it's just been a theme throughout my life. Now, professionally, I'm an educator. So I'm also a creative educator. So I teach creativity classes and things like that. So I've always sort of been in tune with my creativity in that way. And I really enjoy sharing that with students. The aha moments, the moments with students where they find their creativity, it's the most rewarding and wonderful career I could ever wish to imagine to have. And so, but there are times when things get a little rough, and I had decided I wanted to spend a little bit more time with my family. And during that time, I really was looking for a creative outlet. So I reduced to part-time for 1 year, from even having children and stuff like that. Besides maternity leaves, I had never taken a break from being full-time. And so I decided to take a kind of this gap year, whatever you want to call it, where I just went to part-time, and I was still there, very much present at my job and career, but I took a little break. And during that time, I decided to, start recording videos about my gardening. And mainly it was to preserve my kind of youth in a way. I don't remember a lot about my mom or know a lot about her life. Well, I can't really go into that. Pause. So I decided that I was going to make videos and share in an educational way, or kind of a vlog way, but also trying to make some videos that would actually benefit people and help them with different projects or things in the garden, or tips and tricks and stuff like that. So that is kind of my story. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I haven't really talked about that kind of personal stuff in a while. And so yeah, there's definitely some things I've learned along the way. So let's get into my actual like reflection and kind of like advice that I would have for anybody. All that to say that the tip number one I have for you is to kind of know your why. That's what they call it. And it's a corny thing to say. I wish I could find a different way to put that. But basically, have a purpose, have a thing that you want to make videos about, right? What do you want to share with, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to be someone that makes videos or like shares content in different kinds of ways? And there's so many different ways to do that, right? Right? Podcasts and blogs and so many different things. But so you have to kind of know why you're doing it, right? And even if you don't totally know, if you have like some idea, that would be good. And what are you going to make videos about? That's probably the most important thing. What is going to be kind of the thing that you're sharing? Or, it doesn't have to be just one thing. You can pick like, kind of like a variety. For example, I like to do like some decorating videos sometimes, or gardening, also my gardening, but like indoor plants. I do like to do like kind of some crafty things. Sometimes I have some videos about that and things like that. So figure out what you want to make videos about, and make sure that you stay connected to the why of what you're doing. My next tip would be to be comfortable with vulnerability. So if you're putting yourself out there, you're putting yourself out there. Like I have a video where I literally am deadheading, or I think I'm doing something. I'm gardening of some kind and I'm in my pajamas in the video. And I had to write on there, I actually put in like, sorry, I'm in my PJs. I have a video where I'm gardening with like slip-on like sandals and socks. And I looked back at that video and I'm like, that's so bad. But you know what? You have to be vulnerable. You have to just like kind of put yourself out there. You have to be okay with, kind of seeing yourself as far as like, I don't know. It's just weird. You have to be vulnerable, right? You have to just be like, whatever, I'm putting it out there. So you have to decide, but it's worth it. Yeah, all my weird cheesy moments, and I do try to cut out like frames of like if I'm like bending over, I try to cut those out. My husband's like, leave them in. I'm like, no, I think I'll be cutting those out. So yeah, you have to like get comfortable in your own skin and what you're doing, but you can fix some stuff in the editing process. So the next tip I have for you guys is to be comfortable with technology, or try to get comfortable with technology. So the reason I say that is, depending on what you're doing, you're going to be interacting with some sort of, media platform. You're going to be doing both, some text or video or whatever, and you're going to have to figure out, how do I film myself? How do I, get a microphone? And again, these things aren't difficult, but you do have to like be able to have the mindset for that. And then also editing film. Now, I was lucky and blessed enough where I took, I went to college and I did take some film editing classes and some graphic design classes. I also was a yearbook advisor, so I did a lot of print things for several years. And so I was used to that sort of thing of like putting out a product or putting out some sort of media, if that makes sense. So, but technology can be tricky, but that's probably one of the easier things to figure out, I think. If it comes intuitively to you, if you have to interact with it for your career or your education, you're probably going to be fine. Like most people these days interact with a lot of tech, but some of us that grew up when there was like not as much tech, we can be a little nervous about that, but don't be. It'll be fine. The next tip I have for you on being a YouTuber is to remember the time commitment. If you're like trying to make this decision, if you'd like to be a YouTuber, or maybe you're already a YouTuber, so the time commitment can be intense. And especially if you're a person who likes to be very perfectionist about things, that can be really difficult. So you have to be able to just kind of realize that you're going to have to set aside some time if you want to pursue anything in your life, but you also have to like put boundaries and limits on that time, I think, and remember that it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be enjoyable and joyful, and sometimes it can stop being that. And I think that's when it's good to stop and evaluate and see what you're thinking if you want to continue. So anyway, that would be my tip on that. The next tip I have for you is that people can surprise you. So when you tell people that you're like making videos, or doing in, whatever it is you're pursuing, sometimes people can be very like, oh, okay, like they're not used to the idea. So they're kind of like, they can be a little standoffish and they can like question you, and you have to kind of deal with that, right? Especially if it's friends and family. And so, and some people will totally get it and be like, cool, what's your handle? You'll meet new people. And, but also some people will be like a little suspicious of it, right? So, just realize that, you'll have people that cheer you on, you'll have people that maybe won't. And so you have to be able to take all those people in and hear all their concerns, but also, realize that everyone's going to have an opinion about everything. So that would be my tip on that. The next tip I have for you is that filming in public can be weird. It can be real weird sometimes. So you don't have to film in public, though. That's the great thing. If you're not into that, then don't do that with your particular videos and things that you're doing. But yeah, filming in public can be kind of strange. You're sitting in your car, or if you're walking around and you're trying to do video. I find it's easier to just explain what you're doing than to try to not do that. And so, but that is another thing to consider, is if you're going to be filming in public or not, and if so, how do you handle those situations? So yeah, you have to get comfortable with people. You have to be able to say, I'm making a video and that's why I'm on this tram, filming this thing. And they're like, oh yeah. And especially if it's a tourist location or something unique or interesting that you're going to go see, I think that people can be really interested, but also very supportive. The other tip I have for you is to remember that mistakes are part of the process. So you are going to make mistakes. There are going to be videos that you start recording and you realize you had no audio, or there are some things with music and songs and different things to consider when putting together videos. So there's definitely going to be errors that happen. You might start a project and it might not quite go as you had planned. And you might have to find a workaround around that. So I did a project where I was making these bird feeders, like these bird cakes for in the wintertime. And I had made this whole video and then they didn't work, right? It didn't work. So I had to figure it out again, remake it, make sure it worked. And then I had to make another batch of them and film that process. So, there's going to be things that come up and mistakes that can go wrong, but you just have to be able to just roll with the punches and just keep going. The next tip I have for you, it's not really a tip, but just something to consider, is that there might be times where you want to quit, right? Whatever it is you're doing that's creative, I feel like there's always that, I call it kind of like this bell curve of creativity, where you get really excited about it, you have this idea, then you kind of do that thing and you kind of get to the top and you realize there's some adversity, things get kind of hard, you start to question, doubt yourself, and you got to get to the other side of that where you succeed on the other side, and then are proud of yourself and your work and all of that. So you have to kind of, go through that process as a creator too. And so there might be times where you're doing YouTube videos or whatever your content is, and then things start to, get in the way, and it's easy to be like, well, I shouldn't be doing this anyway, and this was a dumb idea, right? And you doubt yourself. When really, if you can get past that and you can, push through those harder times, you'll realize how much you've grown from those experiences and how they can just, make your content or your message that much stronger. Milo just showed up in my video. Hi, Milo. He just got home from a park. The next tip I have for you is to help you grow. And this one would be to make sure that when you are posting content of any kind, that you are cross-posting that content. So you are putting it on different social media platforms, whatever ones you are comfortable with, or get comfortable with new ones. And that when you release something, whether it be, anything you're putting together, even if it's just a really inspirational reel or something that you've made, that you really take those things and you put them on as many platforms as you can and share that information and get as many eyes on it as you can. I think the last one is probably the best one, and that is So my last tip, you guys, and probably the most important, if you stay till the end, thank you, you'll see this best tip, is to ask for what you want. What do you want? Do you want a brand deal of some kind? Do you want just to, publish something? Do you want to, what's your reasoning? But also, like, if you have a desire for something, figure out how to go and get that thing. Even if it's like you just want stickers and you want to learn how to design stickers and make stickers, go for it. Figure out how to design stickers. Do it. So you really have to just kind of go for it. What I mean to say is if you want a collaboration with someone, you want to, sell something to someone or gift something to someone or get someone's eyes on what you're doing, just offer it out. Just put it out there into the universe. Like ask if it's a person, send that email, send the text message, reach out, because people can surprise you in a good way too, meaning that you never know. You never know what can happen. And opportunities will come, right? Opportunities always come. So just have your eyes open for them and pick the right ones and try to, discern what that is for you. But like, say yes to something, right? Maybe. And as long as you're not getting hacked, don't get hacked by anybody. That scares me. But anyway, you know what I mean. Say yes to the good opportunities. Take the painting class, do the, whatever it is. Try that one thing you wanted to try. Take the dance class. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take dance class secretly. Don't tell anybody. I'm doing it. All right, guys. Well, those are my 10 tips and a little bit about my story. If you watch this video to the end, could you please give it a like? Could you share it with someone? Could you subscribe to this channel? I will ask for you to please do that. If you need me, I'll be making more content about my garden, about my yard here in Oregon, Zone 8B. So come hang out with me in the yard. We do fun things. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.